Android is an operating system which is an open source operating system, and it's basically built on Linux kernel. So Linux kernel is an open source project collaborated by millions of developers across the globe, and it is maintained by Linus Torvalds, the man behind its development. And it is an open source operating system. It is especially designed for mobiles and tablets, and now it is being used on various type of devices such as TVs, watches, and in cars we call it Android Auto. Way back in 2003, there is a company called Android Inc., which was started by Andy Rubins, Nick Sears, Chris White, and Rich Mina. So these four people, they collaborated and they started off a company by the name Android Inc. And their initial target was to develop an operating system for digital cameras. But soon they realized that the digital cameras market was not so big. So they diverted their efforts in building a mobile operating system rather than building a operating system for digital cameras. So in 2005, Google liked the idea of Andy Rubins and team, and they acquired Android in 2005. Google was able to release the first Android operating system based mobile device into the market. And do you want to see how the first ever Android operating system based mobile looked like? This is HTC Dream, and it was the first mobile that was released in 2008 based on Android operating system, and its version is 1.0. So right from then, Google started developing its operating system more and more, and every year they're coming up with a new version. So after this version, Google has released 1.1, and then it directly released 1.5, which is code named as Cupcake. And after 1.5, which is Cupcake, many versions were released. So we have Donut, Eclair, Froyo, Gingerbread, Honeycomb, Ice Cream Sandwich, Jelly Bean, Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nugget, Oreo, Pie, and recently Android X. From Android X, Google dropped the idea of naming its versions with code names. And interestingly, all these code names are desserts, sweets. Code names are also alphabetically arranged. So right from Cupcake, we have Donut, which starts with the D, and then Eclair E, Froyo F, and so on. So the next version is also about to be released, and the developer preview is also available. So if you want to take a look at the new features that are coming in, you please just visit Google. And okay, we will learn this technology because it is interesting, and there are millions of apps. According to the statistics that were taken in the March 2020, there are 20 lakh 90,000 applications available on Google Play Store. Yeah, everything seems fine, but what about the job market? So the job market for Android is constantly growing. Right from 2011 and 12, between that period, the boom for Android application developers has started, and right from there, um, there has been a significant growth for Android developers, and also there is a huge demand for application developers in the industry. So there are many jobs to grab. And it is Sundar Pichai's initiative, the CEO of Google and Alphabet. His initiative was to train 2 million developers by the end of 2020. So there are 5 layers in Android platform architecture, and let's see one by one. So the first comes is system apps. So what are system apps? I mean, the apps that you get as soon as you switch on your mobile device for the first time. Those are all called system apps. So these are default apps that are available on the operating system. We will have a camera, we will have Google Chrome, we will have Google Maps, we have Dialer, we have contacts, and these are all system apps, email, etc. So these are the apps that comes by default, and of course they don't have any special status in comparison with the user apps that we install. So there is no special status for these system apps. Except for settings, there are no special privileges given to these system apps. So if you are not interested with the default dialer that you have on your mobile, and if you are interested in the UI of Truecaller, simply make your Truecaller as the default app. And the next comes is Java API framework. When we talk about API, we all know the full form. It is application programming interface. Nice. Application programming interfaces are the programs that were written already. It will make it easy for us to actually make use of few features with no hassle. Suppose if you want to access camera, you need not to write all the code related to the camera. You just have to call the camera and use it. Java API framework is a layer which incorporates most of the Java APIs for accessing the features of Android. So we have managers like activity location package, notification, resource, telephony, and window. And also we have content providers and view system. So talking about view system, we don't need to reinvent the wheel to write how a button should look like and how it should behave. What all you need to do is access this view system API and call button, so that a button will be appearing on your screen. Okay. And next comes the native C++ libraries and also Android runtime. So we all know that Android applications needs a runtime to execute and show their output to the users. So we have Dalvik virtual machine for all the devices that are below 5.0. So if you are using an old operating system, in that case you will find that you're running your apps on Dalvik virtual machine, which is also called DVM in short. And now we are using just-in-time runtime to actually run our apps. All right, Android runtime in short, it is called ART, and we have libraries that will make it easy for us to run the apps. We need not to go into nitty-gritties of how your app is running and how its threads are being managed. Everything will be taken care of by ART. But all we need to do is we just have to make sure that we are not putting so much pressure on the app. If you put so much pressure on the app, if you put so much work on the app, what app does is it will just crash. We need a few feature sets developed in C and C++, and these libraries are available on this layer. Suppose if you want to display a web page on your mobile application, we need to access WebKit. And in the same way, if you want to draw a 2D diagram or a 3D diagram, suppose if you are using a canvas, you'd be more aware of it. We will use OpenGL ES library. So these are the libraries that we have for using it in more appropriate way. So many Android system components and services such as ART and HAL are built from native code. So we're using C and C++ only, they were written. What is hardware abstraction layer? So the HAL consists of multiple library modules, each of which implements an interface for a specific type of hardware component. For example, camera or Bluetooth. Okay, so when a framework API makes a call to access device hardware, the Android system loads the library module for the particular hardware component that you wanted to access. Okay, from API, from Java API framework, if you want to access camera, you will hit the camera library or camera API that is there on the Java API framework. The foundation of Android platform is the Linux kernel. For example, the Android runtime relies on the Linux kernel for underlying functionalities such as threading and low-level memory management. Using a Linux kernel allows Android to take advantage of key security features and allows device manufacturers to develop hardware drivers for a well-known kernel.